Welcome to this event, which is called Painting is Fun. It's a video collaboration of several artists who are showcasing the joys and benefits of painting. And please see down below in the description box the video links to see and watch other artists' videos in this event, and a description, a more complex description of this event. So I am using stencil brushes, and the way stencil brushes are different than regular brushes are that they're totally flat on the end. As you can see right there, they're totally flat on the end for better application of paint through a stencil. And I've already painted my background gold with gold metallic paint, which is by Sargent, and it's actually one of the best metallic paints on the market. And I'm using acrylic paint. The face there actually is paper, and I drew on it with marker. And now I'm going to use all different kinds of stencils all around the face. And one of my favorite ways to paint is painting with stencils. I love painting with stencils. So it's kind of like in a circular motion, and sometimes you have to use the paint in a circular motion in the same place for several seconds in order to get the paint properly through the stencil. So the concept is going to be that a bunch of, like a garden of flowers around her head. Kind of in celebration of springtime, because I'm so happy spring is finally here. This is one of my favorite stencils. I use this so many times. And I'm keeping the color palette to blues, violets, and the gold. They're all different size stencil brushes also. If you look back at the beginning of my video, I showed you my set of stencil brushes I have a pack of about 5 of them, to very small to large. I think I'm using the largest one right now. They come even larger than this, but I'm using the largest one in my pack right now. So I held down the stencil and just picked up the corner just to see how things were going. So just as long as you hold it in place, you can see the progress of your stenciling by holding down the stencil and picking up one corner. I do all kinds of painting, acrylic. In my past, I've done a lot of acrylic painting, oil painting, and watercolor painting, as well as encaustic wax painting, and not to mention iPad digital painting. For this event, we were allowed to use acrylic or oil painting, adding in a little bit of mixed media. And so I chose acrylic painting. Actually, more recently, I have not been doing oil painting, and I have not been doing much watercolor painting either. But I've been doing a lot of acrylic painting, and I've done a lot of iPad digital painting in the past year. And also mixed media, a lot of mixed media. So where painting is involved, but where there's mixed media collage also. So I'm really liking how that's going with the flower design and then the decorative line design. So this is a glaze medium, and I'm mixing it on a plate to get the right color. Oh, that's phthalo blue. And off camera, I already added mixed media elements of, well, let me explain right there. I'm doing samples on the same color as that I'm going to be painting on for her neck, because I am trying to decide whether I want to paint the phthalo, a glaze of phthalo blue on her neck or not, or just keep it the violet color that's already there of the color of the paper. And I was testing out different concentrations of glaze, like thin glaze to medium glaze. So that's what the glazing medium is for. For instead of watering it down with water, you're watering it down with a glazing medium, and that's better than, you really should not water down acrylic with water and paint it with a paintbrush, because it will peel off. It's some kind of chemical reaction that just, it won't stay adhered, and eventually over time it will peel off. But if you use a glazing medium instead of water, that keeps the paint intact. The chemical, it keeps the chemical, whatever the chemical concentration of the paint intact, so that over time that there will be no peeling, and yet you can make it as thin a glaze as you want, as transparent a glaze as you want, or just using a lot of glaze with the paint, or just a little bit of glaze. So I was testing out different strengths of the glaze, and I do decide right there to go ahead and paint her neck with the phthalo blue over the violet, but then I do change my mind in the end and cover that up. But off camera, I had added the mixed media elements of the chunky glitter, gold glitter on her eyelids, plus a gold heart gem in between her, on her forehead, and some gold glitter paint on her lips. And I'd added the teardrop, and the teardrop was actually to cover up a mistake that I'd made when I had put Mod Podge on her face. So the teardrop was just out of gold metallic paper. And then I'm adding some phthalo blue into her hairline and to the top of her head. Because having the phthalo blue just on her neck stood out too much, and it's best to, when you use a color, to use it in several places. See, I'm using it on the bird's wing also, to use it in several places in your painting. So again, a shout out to the other artists in this event. Be sure to check their video links below in my description box for the other artists participating in this event called Painting is Fun. And I forgot to say, I am painting on canvas board 16 by 20 inches. The bird was painted with a stencil also, but I painted in the wings. So again, see, I changed my mind and decided not to have her neck be phthalo blue. So at this point, my painting is finished. You would call it a mixed media painting because I used some mixed media elements, and I did use chunky glitter around the bird for the bird outline also. So I'm showing different close-up shots of the finished painting. And again, a shout out to the other artists in this event. Please check their video links down below and watch all the other wonderful videos that artists have made for this event called Painting is Fun. Thank you so much for watching.